children, how are you all? Hope you all are fine. It's a long time. How was your FA3 exams? All good? Okay, so let's get back to our classes. So what we were discussing in last class, did you remember? Yes, now get ready all of you, take your textbook. So in the last class we were discussing a story titled as The Ashes That Made Trees Blue. So let me ask you a few questions. Who all are the main characters in the story? Can you see? Yes, the rice farmer and his wife are the main characters in the story. And they also had a pet dog, isn't it? Yes, and the rice farmer and his wife was very fond of this pet dog. And at the same time, we can see the other characters, a wicked couple. And they are really jealous of that rice farmer and his wife. And one day, this rice farmer got a treasure with the help of their pet dog. And by hearing this, that wicked couple was really jealous. And they forcefully dragged that dog into their house, and they are also trying to get a kind of lump of gold. Oh, they are in search of treasure. But instead of a golden treasure, they got the skeleton of a kitten. And they are really angry towards that dog, and they killed that dog. So till here we discussed in the last class. So shall we continue? Alright, now all of you take your honeycomb textbook, page number 57. Page number 57. So we are starting with paragraph 3, third paragraph. Then they dragged him out of the doors, taking a spade and hoe with them. No sooner had the dog got near a pine tree growing in the garden than he began to paw and scratch the ground, as if a mighty treasure lay beneath. Then that dog went under a pine tree and he started to scratch something. Then that wicked couple thought that, yes, we are also going to get that treasure. Actually, maybe he is in search of that treasure. Come, let's dig that place. And quick, wife, hand me the spade and hoe, cried the greedy old fool, and he danced with joy. So that greedy couple thought that, yes, we are also going to get that treasure. Then they started digging that place. Then the covetous old fellow, covetous means greedy, that greedy fellows, old fellow with a spade and the old crone with a hoe began to dig, but there was nothing but a dead kitten, the smell of which made them drop their tools and shut their noses. Furious at the dog, the old man kicked and beat him to death, and the old woman finished the work by chopping off his head with the sharp hoe. Then what did they get from that pit? Yes, instead of a treasure, they got the skeleton of a kitten, and oh, it's very bad smell. And by smelling that furious smell, both of them went back to their home, and they were really angry towards that dog. And with that wicked couple, both of them killed that dog. So sad, isn't it? Okay, they then flung him into the hall and heaped the earth over the carcass. Flung means throw. And they throw that dog's dead body to that hall near that pine tree. And heaped the earth over his carcass. Carcass means dead body. The dead body of that dog was pulled into near that pine tree. They put that dead body near that pine tree. And the owner of the dog heard of the death of his pet, and mourning means sad for him, as he had been his own child when at night under the pine tree. So by hearing the death news of his dog, the actual master of that dog started shedding tears. He was really sad. That rice farmer was really sad by hearing the death news of his pet. Set up some bamboo tubes in the ground, such are used before tombs, in which he put fresh flowers. Then he laid a cup of water and a tray of food on the grave and burned several costly sticks of incense. He mourned a great while over his pet, calling him many dear names as if he were alive. So after that what happened? Yes, the rice farmer was really sad, and he came to know that, yes, the dead body of that dog was under that pine tree. So this rice farmer was really sad, and he built a tomb of that dog with bamboo trees, with flowers, everything. He decorated every day. He used it to decorate the tomb of that dog because he was really sad because the rice farmer and his wife considered this dog as their own child, and by hearing the death news of this dog they were really sad and they started shed tears. And after that, every day this rice farmer used to put some food near that grave of that dog, and he also called out many names. That rice farmer went near that tomb and he used to call that dog by like many pet names he used to call. That night the spirit of dog appeared to him in a dream and said, "Cut down the pine tree over my grave and make from it a mortar for your rice pastry and a mill for your bean sauce." Then at that night when that rice farmer was sleeping, at that time he saw a dream. And what was that? Yes, the spirit of the dog came into the rice farmer's dream, and the dog told that rice farmer that go and cut that pine tree. Go and cut that pine tree, and with that wood you have to make a mortar. You have to make a mortar and you can use that in your mill and for your bean sauce, and you can use that what mortar in your mill, and you can make many pastries using that. So the old man chopped down the tree and cut out of the middle of the trunk a section about 2 feet long. Then, as like the dog said, the rice farmer followed that. He cut a piece of pine tree and one of the big branch, and with great labor party by fire, party by with chisel, he scraped out a hollow place as big as a small bowl. Then chisel means tool. Scrapped, note down the word scrapped. Scrapped means pull. Then hollow means ground. Then with that wood he made that like as the dog said, he made a mortar for his mill. Then after that he then made a long handled hammer of wood, such is used for pounding rice. So pounding means like the powder of rice. So with that wood, that rice farmer made a mortar and also a hammer of wood to break that rice to powder. And he started doing his work in the mill. And after that, when New Year's time drew near, he wished to make some rice pastry. So that's the time of New Year. So the rice farmer was about to make some rice pastries. When the rice was all boiled, Granny put it into the mortar. The old man lifted his hammer to pound the mass into dough, and the blows fell heavy and fast till the pastry was all ready for baking. Suddenly the whole mass turned into a heap of gold coins when the old woman took the hand mill and filling it with beans began to grind. The gold dropped like rain. Then it was a time of New Year and the old couple was ready to prepare some rice pastry. Then both of them put that rice into that mortar and they are ready to like hit that rice using that hammer. Then they put that rice into that mortar, and after some times that rice turns to gold coins. And that old lady again put some beans into that mortar, and after some times, yes, that beans also turns to gold coins. And by seeing this, the old couple were really amazed. What was happening here? What a magic is this? And meanwhile, the envious neighbor peeped in at the window when the boiled beans were being ground, and actually that wicked couple were watching all these. They were watching near that, they were standing near that window and they were hearing all these things. And good me, cried the old hag as she saw each dripping of sauce turning into yellow gold, until in a few minutes the tub under the mill was full of shining mass of gold. Then after some time, whatever the old couple were putting in that mortar, that turns to gold coins. And by seeing that wicked couple were like very much greedy. What was happening here? Then so the old couple were rich again, and the old couple were again rich. The next day, the stinky and wicked neighbor, stinky means miserly, the bad couple, again came and borrowed the mortar and magic mill. And the couple again borrowed that mortar and that magic mill from that old couple. That means that Japanese couple. And they filled one with boiled rice and other with beans. Then again, as like the rice farmer and his wife done, they also did the same. They filled the mortar with rice and the other with beans. Then they are waiting. Oh, they are waiting that, oh, now this gonna turns to gold coins and we are ready to collect that. And what happened? Yes, then the old man began to pound and the woman to grind. Then they started grinding that. But at the first blow and turn, the pastry and sauce turned into full mass of worms. Still more angry at this, they chopped the milk into pieces to use as firewood. And after some time, that pastry and that beans turns to worms. That turns to worms instead of gold coins. Then again, that wicked couple were really angry. Oh, what was happening here? This is the second time. And with that anger, they cut that mortar and hammer into pieces and they made that firewood. They made that as firewood. So the first part of the story ends here. Hope this is clear. Thank you.